scripture reads, until he be taken out of the way. So what is the scriptures telling us? It is God's intention to eventually take him out of the way. Everybody understand that? Read on. Tell them where you at.
Luke 21 verse 20.
Read.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
Okay, this is when it was getting ready to start, because the Israelites they still had evidence of a civilization. They still had their history and their lineage and their genealogy there. It was still there in the land of Israel with the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah. They were still in Jerusalem. They still had their own courts. They still had a somewhat independence. The Pharisees and the Sadducees court, the Sanhedrin court. They still had the temple. Do everybody understand that? So there was still evidence of an independent nation that was conquered by another nation. The Lord said the time was going to come when there was going to be no evidence that Israel even exists anymore as a nation. You read that in the book of Psalms chapter 83, that the name of Israel will be no more in their remembrance, that they will be completely forgotten about. So now we're approaching that time. Christ said, when is that time going to come about? When is the time going to come about when the nation of Israel is going to cease from being a nation and was going to be scattered into every nation into captivity? When you shall see Jerusalem compassed about with armies. Everybody understand that? Read on.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
That's when you know that the land was going to be completely desolate of Israelites in that land, in the Holy Land. Once they was besieged in that land, compassed about with army, is when they was besieged. That happened in 70 AD. Do everybody understand that? With the Roman general Vespasian. Everybody understand that? And Titus. That's what that happened with when they came into Jerusalem, besieged Jerusalem, burnt down the temple, and took the Israelites captive and destroyed us as a nation and took away our independence. Do everybody understand that? The little bit that remained under the Roman Empire. Christ said, when you should see Jerusalem compassed about with armies, know that the desolation thereof is nigh. The desolation that was spoken of in the book of Daniel, that we would be eventually removed out of the land, and the abomination would come in the land. A filthy, wicked person or a filthy, wicked act would be in the land, which is the so-called white man calling himself a Jew. Everybody understand that? Daniel spoke about this. Read on.
Verse 21.
Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Okay, and that's when the tribes that was left in that area, they started going among the into the mountains and into the neighboring villages to flee from the besiegement that was coming to Jerusalem. Read on.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
The Lord said, whoever is in Jerusalem, get out of there, because there's no way that you're going to be able to save that land. Okay, God said it's my will that this land be desolate of Israelites. Do everybody understand that? That there be no Israelites left in this land. Everybody got that, right? So you had some Israelites that still try to fight and save the land. That's where you get the history of Masada. All of them ended up perishing in that area because it was against the words of God. God's word is always going to be fulfilled. If God said, get out, this is Christ there among them. He's standing in the land talking to them, saying, when that time come that you see Jerusalem compassed about with armies, I'm telling you, go, leave. Because there ain't going to be nothing you can do to save this land. Read on.
And let not them that are in the country
Read on.
enter thereinto.
Don't come back for no more high holy days. There ain't going to be no temple. Okay, start doing the local worshiping among the areas where you are at. Don't be looking to come to Jerusalem no more, because it's going to be all over at that point. Read on.
For these be the days of vengeance.
What did God say?
For these be the days of vengeance.
Read on.
That all things which were written may be fulfilled.
Everything that God have said to the prophets, all of it had to come to pass. Do everybody understand that? All of it had to come to pass. So now the time came when the Lord was speaking to all the prophets from Moses all the way up, that it was time for the children of Israel to come into that ultimate captivity, that ultimate takedown, where they wasn't even going to be independent as a nation before God anymore. That time was actually approaching in this era of the Roman Empire. Read on.
Verse 23. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Read on.
For there shall be great distress in the land.
Yeah, you try to sit there and bring up a child. There was no future for the nation of Israel in that land. So what happened when the enemy finally came into the land? They eradicated the people. They killed the children. I mean, they did some horrific crimes to the women that was with child. They actually put the sword right in their stomach. They don't care how many months they was pregnant with the baby. Do everybody understand that? Everybody got that? The babies that was in their arms, they ripped them right out of their arms. And this is typical of the white man. You don't have to actually go back to the Roman Empire, which is ancient history. You can go back to history that's not so ancient, which was the slavery of our people here in America. You see babies being snatched right out of their hands, dashed against stones right in their face. You everybody understand that? So that's what Christ said when he said there's going to be a lot of things that's going to take place with the people in this land. Great distress. You had Jesus Christ being hung on the cross. And you had holy women that were crying for Christ, that was weeping for him. And he looked down at them and said, don't weep for me. weep for your children. Because he knew the future. He knew the immediate future of what was getting ready to come into this land. He said, you're going to have a whole lot of weeping to do for your own children. Don't sit up here and cry for me. Do everybody understand that? Read on.
And wrath upon this people.
And what upon this people?
Wrath upon this people.
So we see that the Lord brought wrath upon the nation of Israel for what they have done wrong, when they did not hearken unto the Lord our God. Do everybody understand that? We clearly see that. And this is how our people became and got into the present situation that they are in this very day. Do everybody understand that? What happened to the tribes of Israel? The tribes of Israel during the time of Solomon was already over in this part of the world that the white man is calling the New World. Okay, everybody understand that? Where you will start to see the evidence, this is so amazing because it's biblical. That's what's so amazing about it. Because the scriptures actually talk about, there's scriptures in the Apocrypha that I'm actually bringing out when I'm finishing the part of the conquest of the tribes that I didn't get to finish. That tell you that when you shall see the world changing, the old world changing from the old to the new, that's when you shall know these things shall begin to come to pass. So it's showing you that there was a time to be expected, that there was going to be something being known as a new world, where everything was going to be completely different and changed. Evidence of an old world, you can still see that. You see movies where you see people walking around and, horse and wagons and all that. But when you in this modern society, there's no evidence of that there was ever a world like that. But then you could go to another part of this earth where they still living like that. Everybody understand that? Babylon represented a new beginning. It represented knowledge that hasn't been obtained on the other side of the earth. And the Lord started talking about that the world was going to change. And the fact that they actually fulfilled the words of God by calling it a new world, because in the Bible it says when you shall see the new world coming. That's what's so amazing about it. Everybody understand that? So when this world started coming into being, that's when the tribes of Israel, they were already over here since the Assyrian captivity. This is way before the Greeks, the Romans, the Babylonians, Syrians. They was already over here. What the other tribes realized is that they were seeking refuge. Here you is, you on the run. Like Moses when he left Egypt. Everybody understand that? There were Roman provinces still all over the place. So there was really no safety nowhere. So the tribes of Israel actually were trying to get to this part of the world. They knew our people were over here. They knew that they were over here. Everybody understand that? They didn't lose the knowledge that our tribe, the tribes of Israel came over here. So they were trying to get to this part of the world. And they kept trying to do that. They always knew about this place. And then that's how the white man started finding out that this place was actually over here. Because he started getting the information from the only people that knew that this place was here, which was the tribes of Israel. Do everybody understand that? They was the ones coming back saying, well, there's another land, and the earth is actually not flat, you're dumb as hell. You're not going to fall off. If you keep going, don't turn back, because you're not going to fall off. You're going to eventually see land. Everybody understand that? Esau got close, and they seen a big statue, gigantic, figured it was a god, and ran like hell. Said, we reach heaven. They turned back around. And it worked for thousands of years. But nevertheless, that's something else. We in the pursuit of happiness right now. So tell them what verse you is and read that one more time.
Verse 23.
Read on.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land.
Read on.
And wrath upon this people.
So we see that the children of Israel went through something that no nation in history went through. Everybody understand that? Every nation that was in history is still here. You got families that disappeared, but you still got nations. Every nation that it started out with in Genesis, they all still here. They all still here. Family names is done. Lord wiped out families. But nations are still here. Do everybody understand that? But the evidence of the nation of Israel, that was the only nation that was, the question mark. Where's the nation of Israel? Where are they as a nation of people? So the white man, taking our people over and having one big conspiracy and plan, his conspiracy was, let's become these people. Let's, say that we the people and that they, the nations. They already took on the nationality of the nation, so let them continue in that. And let's say that we the people. And they only came up with this, not that long ago. You understand that? There was the mandate to say that they were Israelites and put them back in the land was not that long ago. Because they just started figuring stuff out. They was over there, in madness in Europe, going through madness. Because they knew nothing. All the technology, most of the technology that you see over here in what they call this new world came from written records of the tribes. The tribes was the one with the advanced civilization. I mean, if it came from them, then why didn't they have it in what they call the old world? Why didn't they have it? Why wasn't planes taking off in the old world? Where was the cars in the old world? Where was that? Oh, the only time they came into some technology that they couldn't figure out is when they got over here.